Hello and welcome, Cancer, to your March tarot forecast. I am just getting the rest of your cards. Laid out for your spread. Okay, let's see what we got. So, if you're new to my channel, let me just quickly explain how I have everything set up. So this top row is going to be main themes throughout the month that you may be encountering, decisions, circumstances that you might find yourself in. So these are going to be kind of like the broad overview. This middle row is going to be our unexpected obstacles, represented by these face down cards, our ways to overcome, represented by the face up cards, and then we have some oracle cards around the outside, which are pertaining to all the cards, but these two specifically to this middle row. Down at the bottom, we do have the lenses by which to look through just the situations throughout the month, scenarios, relationships, decisions, offering just different perspectives to view things in order to help you come to a conclusion or maybe just see something in a different light. So let's go ahead and get started, Cancer. For our main themes, we have got the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Wands in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles. So I'm really getting with this Nine of Wands in reverse that you're really tired about something. You're just feeling very drained. You have like a lack of energy. I feel like you have been working really hard for something and putting a lot of effort and energy into it, but that whatever you're getting back from it, either it doesn't feel like it's worth it, or at this moment in time at least, it doesn't feel like you're satisfied with the results that you're getting. And this is definitely a personal dissatisfaction. It's not that you are doing something in a like workspace and like your boss is unhappy with your work. This is definitely like a personal feeling of not performing to the best of your abilities. And because of this feeling of dissatisfaction, you are struggling to like get going, to keep working on whatever it is that you're working on. You feel tired, you feel frustrated, you feel like, what is the point of doing this? Because you keep putting energy and not getting back what you are trying to manifest, to bring into actualization. And it's important to remember that although he may be tired and beaten up, he's still there. He's still present. And so is this, we can view him as like a farmer. He is tending to this crop that is growing these pentacles. And although he may not be receiving what yield he thinks he should be, he's not giving up on them. If you look at the card, he is still very intently looking at these pentacles. So this to me really signifies that although you feel very tired, you feel like you're questioning on if this is what you should be doing or not, I would like to urge you and remind you that you shouldn't give up. Keep working. That's just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. And just because we're feeling some dissatisfaction internally doesn't mean that we can't manifest that and increase that to the Ten of Wands, right? And even though the Ten of Wands can also feel kind of burdensome, like a large responsibility, it's still something that you have cultivated, that you still have made, that you have manifested, that you have brought into the world. So you have a desire of some sort that you want to create or bring into the world or have happen in your life, and you're working towards that, and you're feeling like you're not going to get there because whatever it is that you're doing in order to get to that point is not panning out how you thought that it would, how you expected it to. And I'm getting a message right now of no expectations If you set expectations for something to happen in the future, you can't predict the future. You don't know what the future is going to be. So if you are wagering, gambling, I'm getting the word gambling, but in the context of wagering your emotions and the uncertainty that comes with gambling. So if you wager your emotions on, I will be happy if XYZ happens in the future, much like gambling, I will be happy or I will win money if this ends up in this certain configuration or color or number combination or whatever it is that you're playing, that yields these positive results. But if it doesn't do that, then we view it as a loss. We view it as a negative. We view it as disappointment. And I'm really getting that. I'm getting that you had an expectation because you're trying to achieve something. And right now, this expectation is not being met to your satisfaction. And so you are feeling frustrated and you are feeling like a failure and wondering if you should continue doing what you're doing. And the answer to that, this card says returning home, transition, life between lifetimes, loving welcome. It's also card number 44, if that means anything to anyone. Transition. You're definitely going through a period of transition. Normally I talk about that card in conjunction with these top cards, but I want to kind of hold off on it. I'm just getting this idea that we need to discuss it, but to not talk about it quite yet. So let's continue on. I don't know if this is like branding or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how YouTube works. I want to touch on these really quick. I'm being drawn to look at them. So, oh wow, I just realized your whole bottom row is all major arcana cards. Okay, cool. Well, we'll get to those in a moment. So first we have this Speak Truth card, kind of a little reminiscent of a Ace of Swords, which, I mean, is not any kind of shocker because sword does symbolize truth, the word, intellect. So in addition to that, we have keep your temper. Don't allow anger to rule you. So I believe these to be saying to keep your emotions in check. Sometimes when we are going through something that is frustrating or that we feel disappointed in, which I do think you feel disappointing in something, Cancer, you have some self-disappointment, we often let that manifest in our outside world. So our internal thoughts begin to cultivate and grow until they need to now push from our inner world into our outer world. And if we are cultivating a inner world of negative self-talk, negative feelings, a bad attitude, then what's going to come out when that can no longer be contained within us? Negative self-talk, attitude, negative feelings, right? So we need to be very aware and cognizant of what things we are putting out into the world. And that starts by what things we are putting into ourselves. So in addition to just, like positive self-talk, which I do talk about pretty frequently, but the main message for you, Cancer, is to not let these emotions overtake you. If you are feeling frustrated about something, and Cancer, water sign, not any surprise there, you can on occasion let your emotions kind of slip, and you can get a little snappy like a crab. And you guys need to just be very aware that you need to be responding to situations that are affecting you at the same magnitude or intensity as the situation that is being put upon you. So what I mean by that is, if something is really not that big of a deal, but you respond to it in a like very, very elevated, escalated way, now you've taken this situation that wasn't a big deal and it is a big deal now because you have escalated the situation. And at that point, the only way to really de-escalate the situation is if you decide to de-escalate it, because the other person came to you at a de-escalated already like value or location or starting point, and you are the one that decided to escalate it. So either de-escalating it by apologizing or just taking some awareness of your reaction, or hopefully just not even letting it get to that point and having some awareness and ability to take a step back. Four of Swords. Take a step back and view the situation in a different light, or view that maybe you're projecting whatever it is that you are dealing with. Notice we do have Ten of Wands in the reverse also, but Ten of Wands, I did mention it. But you're projecting and you're maybe putting emotion into that situation that is actually emotion that is coming from something else, and there's no need to add extra intensity there. So just some awareness, making sure that you're not speaking out of anger, and that whatever you are saying is something that you truly feel, and you're not just saying things in a hurtful way to be hurtful. So Four of Swords is talking about intentional rest, meditation, taking a step back from the maybe details of something, so that we can look at the larger picture and we can really determine if our actions are helping us get to wherever we are trying to go. So it is a time of pause, a time of reflection, a time of slowing down, right? And it is very intentional, because something is not proceeding how it needs to be proceeding. There's going to be some sort of disruption. You know, we have the 5 coming up after the 4. So there's going to be some sort of disruption, and we need to make sure that we are prepared for that as it comes, and not something that happens and then we are scrambling and doing things in haste and doing things carelessly because we're doing them in haste. And so now we're taking the situation that was maybe only a small problem, and now we're making it a larger problem by adding all these other little subsequent issues on top of it, okay? So be mindful, be aware of what you're doing. Let's flip these cards over just so we can look at everything together. Ooh. Oh, okay. Wow. So I said the 5 comes after the 4 of Swords. 5 of Swords. 7 of Swords. 8 of Swords. All right, well, there's the conflict that I was talking about. I guess I already knew. So yeah, 5. We'll start with the 5. This is conflict. This is strife. This is butting heads. And this is, I read this as kind of like a no-win situation. So either you are the victor in this situation, and this victor had to do some things maybe he's not proud of in order to win this fight, or you're the loser, which is kind of self-explanatory, being the loser. So either way, it's a no-win situation. The 7 is trickery, sneakiness, going behind someone's back to do something. And 8 is self-imposed limitations. So there's a lot, and in this one, the Speak the Truth, very reminiscent of Ace to me. So let's see here. Okay. These are being read with the oracle cards. So going back to this keep your temper, don't allow anger to rule you. along with this Seven of Swords. So this is trickery. This is doing something behind someone's back, someone doing something behind your back in order to harm you. Once again, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't do something in order to intentionally hurt someone, say something or imply something that could be intentionally hurtful just out of anger or emotion or spite or projection of whatever it is. And on the other side of that, we have this Eight of Swords, this self-imposed limitations, where all she needs to do is just be aware and cognizant that she is able to release herself from this situation. There is a sword behind her back that she is able to grasp should she choose to. And if we add Speak Truth to it, which is an additional sword or could be the sword she needs to release herself, if she just speaks that truth that I am in control of myself, of my situation, then she will be able to free herself. And viewing this Speak Truth as an Ace of Swords, it's new ideas, new intellect, new knowledge. And I think that sometimes you need to be reminded, Cancer, that you are capable and you are in control and you are the one that is dictating your whole life. You're the writer of the story. So you need to remember that, and you need to take some sovereignty and some authoritative action to your decision making and your life. We can't always just be passive, passive, passive. We need to be very active. You have a lot of active energy in this reading. We have no cups. There's no just strictly passive energy here. It's all either active or like some sort of like neutral balance. So really an urging for you to take control of your life and to not succumb to this frustration of whatever is occurring that is stressing you out, and to understand that if you keep coming from this place of conflict of I want this and I'm getting this and I don't like it, that idea, that negativity, it's going to be a lose-lose situation no matter what. You're not getting anywhere positive with that line of thinking. You're not manifesting these things to improve in the way that you're wanting them to improve, because you're only speaking about them in like this very, very negative way, right? So in order for these things to manifest in a more positive way, we can't be constantly negative. We need to flip our line of thinking. We need to have that intentional step back and reassessment of the situation, and like, is it really as bad as we think it is? Ten of Wands, like I said, Ten of Wands can feel like a burden. So releasing this burden of, remember what I said about expectation. So releasing this burden, this expectation, get rid of it. Get rid of that expectation. And as soon as we get rid of this expectation, then we can get rid of this internal strife, this battle inside of us, which is probably leading to maybe some not good attitudes or outer world manifestations of our internal feelings of frustration. Because once we don't have that line to measure up to, this is what we want, this is what we're getting, and we have this disparity, right? If we take this away, now we have nothing to compare this to. We can't be in any kind of negative mindset. We can't say I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, because who's to say what the accomplished area it is? Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here, It doesn't, we have no reference. So now we have nothing to measure against and to have a disappointment of expectations against. So release the expectations, lose the burden, stop comparing what you are having in your current life as to, like, I keep reading this message of, just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it's not going to happen in general. And I want to come back to this card, this idea of transition. So I think you're in a transitory period where it's starting to, the wheel is starting to turn. It's just not turning quite fast enough yet to get you where you're going because it's gaining momentum. But every time you have these like negative feelings, this internal strife, this reverse page of pentacles, it's like you're throwing like a little pebble, a little stick or something in the pathway of this wheel, right? And so this wheel is trying to gain momentum. It's not going down a super steep slope. So it's like taking a little bit of time. And every time you throw these negative thoughts, these negative feelings, whether they're to yourself or out loud or to other people, you're creating a resistance to this wheel. You're making it difficult for it to gain momentum and you're slowing it down. And if you keep doing it, if you throw enough, you're going to completely halt it. Because like I said, it's not a steep decline. It's not gaining momentum super fast and super easily. Like, it's taking time, it's taking work. And it is something that you can stop the whole process of if you keep throwing these mental blocks of negativity out there, right? So, on that note, we have the Tower in reverse, Judgment, and the Starman. And the Starman is the Magician. So what did I say? The Magician, you have Magician energy. Like, you are capable of doing everything that you want to do. And it's just this mindset shift of, one, not having expectations, judgment, okay? Expectations and judgment. You are going to have a repercussion if you keep holding on to these arbitrary expectations. Like, who said that's what you should be experiencing? Who said that that's what you should have accomplished in this amount of time? You know, where are you getting this idea from? Is it your idea? Probably not. You're probably getting this idea from somewhere else or from multiple sources. And this happens a lot. Exactly what the Tower is talking about is getting rid of these self-limiting beliefs. These ideas, these ways of thinking, these methodologies, these stereotypes, these indoctrinations, these biases that we receive throughout our lifetime. And when we see the Tower, it means that it's time to frickin' go. They're no longer serving us. They're no longer helping us. And at this point, they're becoming a detriment. And like I said, like, your guys's feels very, very internal. It's very, just internal structure, organization of how you're thinking and how you're viewing yourself and your progress and your abilities and your capabilities of doing things. And you need to remember you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to, but you need to really lose this idea of expectations and disappointment, because until you do that, you're going to continue being disappointed because you are a perfectionist. You have these very high expectations of yourself that you don't feel like you're meeting, and you need to lose it. You need to get rid of that. Not that high expectations are bad, they're not, but they need to be realistic. They need to be not damaging to yourself and your psyche. You know, there is realistic expectations that push us to be better, and then there's expectations that are just so wild and out there and not realistic that we begin to use them in a way to be destructive to ourselves. So don't be your own tower. Don't be destructive to yourself. Don't be the tower and the lightning bolt. Lose those expectations. Lose those feelings of needing to accomplish XYZ by this certain period of time, and realize that once you lose these self-limiting beliefs and these things that are tying you back and tethering you down, that you will also be able to lose this internal strife that you're going through and this feeling of inadequacy and of maybe unworthiness and of not being capable of doing something. So Cancer, this message this month really for you guys is to just lose your expectations. Yeah, whatever it is. You guys are setting, you're gambling your emotions on the future, on a future outcome that you have no way of knowing if it is going to pan out or not. And you need to be living more in the current time, space, now, and in your current situation, and view it as it is right now, and base your emotions on that and not these future hopes and dreams and wishes, okay? So thank you so much for being here, Cancer. I hope that this message resonated for you. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if it resonated with you, and subscribe to my channel to see further videos. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.